Basically, they mixed shawl and blanket together, and I can't remember how they did it. A shanket? I think I just shank it, like, really, Nikki? Hey y'all, welcome back to the Yarn Everywhere podcast. I am so excited to share with you all of my yarn adventures. It has been a while since I've podcasted, so there's a lot. Like, I'm surrounded by projects, finished projects, whips, all of the things. I can't wait to dive in and show you all the yarn things. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nicky Avery. I am the crocheter, crochet designer, yarn dyer, and knitter behind Avery Lane Creations and ALC Yarns. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. Grab a project, your favorite drink, and let's go on a yarn adventure together. I normally start out showing you my projects either finished or works in progress, but I'm going to start out with a little life thing real quick because things got a little crazier around here earlier last month, and I'm about to show you why. This is Samson. He is our little puppy that we got on the 8th of August, and he is a delightful terror, as I like to call him. He's so much fun. But oh my goodness, he's a lot, aren't you? Yes. Say hi. So this is Samson. He is a French bulldog, and we're working on this ear popping up there. Hopefully it will pop up, but I think he's so adorable with the one ear up and one ear down. We have had so much fun, but we're also exhausted. Frenchies are a very unique breed. Let me just say that. I had an English bulldog, Zoe, and she had quite the personality, and you know what? He just might beat her when it comes to personality. He's something else, but we love him. He's so cute. I tell him all the time he's lucky he's cute because, yeah. If you see the little, I don't know if you can see it or not, the little marks on his face, he's so curious. And he loves to stick his nose in fire ants, yeah, before I can get to him. So he's got a few little ant bites here. But yeah, he's our little delightful terror. He's wild. If you follow me on social media, you have seen some pictures of him. He's just so cute. I just want to squeeze him. See what I mean? Like, he's just so cute. And when he's sleepy, oh my gosh, he is the best little cuddler. He'll get his bone and then, like, prop his little legs up on a recliner like, Mom, hold me. And I mean, you can't say no to that. Okay, so we're gonna get to all of the yarn things, but he is in the room with me, so you may hear some crazy noises, and I just wanted to let you know who the culprit was. Samson. Yeah. Okay, bye. Bye. Who is that? Is that you? Mwah. Okay. Now go be bad. Now that I shared our delightful terror with you, I will jump in and show you some of the projects that I have finished. I finished my mom's sweater. Isn't it pretty? Here is the cuff, the body, the bottom of it. I haven't blocked it yet. I don't know what it is about finishing stuff and not blocking it, but here I am. I'm going out to see my mom next month, so this is on my to-do list, like ASAP to go ahead and block it, so it'll be all nice and clean and blocked and pretty for my mom. Cannot wait to see it on her, and hopefully she will model it so I can share pictures. That is the Weekend Sweater by Darling Jadore. I enjoyed the pattern so much, I want to make one for myself. So that's on my planned project list. Another project that I finished was not on my planned project list, but I hosted an ALC summer make-along in my yarn club group, and one of my yarn club members made a Sophie scarf, and it was so gorgeous. I like immediately went and bought the pattern, and I had to start on it. I want to make this pattern in all the yarn colors. It was such an easy pattern and it worked up so quickly. And it was really just one of those patterns that you just enjoy from beginning to end. So this is the Sophie scarf, and it's so simple, but I love it. This yarn is a colorway called Rustic by Stitching with Yarn, and it is not my normal go-to colors, but it is really pretty. I made this for a lady at my church, and these are so her colors. I am going to be gifting this to her. Originally, I was like, I'll just give it to her for Christmas, but I'm one of those people, like, when I have a gift for somebody, I want to give it to them like right then. So I wanted to make sure I showed it off on the podcast, and then I'm going to go ahead and gift it to her. This is the Sophie Scarf by Petite Knits, and it really was such a delight. I made the large version. She has a small and a large version. I went ahead and made the large version. That way she can kind of use it however she wants. She's not limited to just like tying it around her neck. She could actually use it like as a longer scarf. So there is that. Oh, and in case you didn't watch my last podcast, the yarn for my mom's sweater is super special because when she was here visiting back at the end of May, the 1st of June, she actually dyed this yarn. So that's why it's just super special. And I've just called this colorway Mom Sweater because I'm just so creative with names. Another finished project is this adorable little doggy bandana. I couldn't help myself. When we first got Samson, I had to make something for him. I will post a picture of him modeling it. He was so good at modeling it. I was really surprised. I think the only thing I'm going to do differently next time, instead of this being all one piece, make 2 different straps. And that way I can kind of just tie it, and that way it's adjustable because it was just a little too big for him. But I'm kind of a lazy crocheter, and I'm like, I can just start on one side and then slip stitch to the other and I'm done. I don't have to worry about anything else. So that's what I did. I just kind of made this pattern up as I went, but I really want to make them some more. So this just may be a design that I have coming soon because I really want to crochet a bunch of doggy accessories for him, but I really just haven't had time. The next finished item is a sunshine coffee cozy. I know I haven't finished the ends, but here's the story. I got some new crochet hooks because I'm trying out a different brand of hooks. So this is the one that I made with my new hook, and then I made 12 other ones with my normal go-to hook. And this one just turned out a little bit bigger. So my tension's a little looser with the new hooks, but I was making these cozies for a local shop and I wanted them to all be the same. So this one just kind of got set to the side and I haven't weaved the ends in or added a tag to it, but it worked out good because then I could show you on the podcast. I will post a photo here of my stack of cozies that I made for a local shop. And this is a free pattern on my blog, so I will post the link below for you. Let me just say, after knitting for so long, it was really nice to pick my crochet hook back up. I have missed it, but I knew that I was going to be going to my mom's really soon. I wanted to just be like laser focused on getting her sweater finished. Kind of like put all my other projects on hold, and anytime I had a minute, I was finishing her sweater. Then I finished her sweater and it was like, wow, felt really good to finish something. So I decided to finish that Sophie scarf because I believe I don't have my project book in front of me. I don't know what I did with it. It was in my pile of stuff to bring in here and I don't know what happened to it once it got in here. But I believe I started that Sophie scarf as soon as I saw the other one. I knew that if I went ahead and just started it when I had a chance, I would finish it. It's so funny, as I talk this out, like things are coming back to me. So when I finished my mom's sweater, I was like, it felt so good to finish something. So the next project I got focused on was the Sophie scarf. So I finished that. then started on all of these cozies and finished those, and it felt so good. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad I got the whole finishing all the projects out of my system. Now I'm going to start all of the projects, and I will show you that next. Another finished project. Look, when I work the last stitch and I fasten off, it's finished. Maybe I need to change that in my brain because I would weave in ends more, but to me, it's finished as soon as I fasten off. And the ends, you know what? I'll get to them or I won't. This is a Sunshine Iced Coffee Cozy. And this is a new yarn to me. I think I shared the last podcast. It's Coastal Cotton, and this is the Surfer's Paradise colorway. And I actually think this is one of my new favorite cotton colors. I know this is definitely my new favorite cotton yarn. I will post a picture of the cozy that I shared last time. I put it on a cup and took a picture of it, and it's so pretty. I need to do the same with this one. So this is the Sunshine Iced Coffee Cozy, and I have a step-by-step video tutorial here on YouTube for it. This is also a free pattern on my blog. So I will post the links in all of those below in case you want to make one. I think this is the most finished projects that I've had in a really long time. I did it. I was trying so hard not to start making pumpkins, but when the end of August gets here and the 1st of September, I can't help myself. I tried so hard to wait because I knew that if I made one, I was going to make a bunch. So far, I've only made 3. But I have plans. Just love these pumpkins. They work up so quickly, but they also have like just a fun texture to them. I love finding cool things to use for a stem. One of my favorite things to use is a wine cork. I have a ton of them, and I just think it just gives like this rustic look to them. This is the Country Bumpkin Pumpkin, and this is the medium size. My favorite ones to make are the minis, and I think it's because it works up quickly and I can be done and I can make multiples. And thanks to Samson and his stick collection, I will post a picture of that. I didn't have to go very far to find a little stick for a stem for this one. When he goes outside to go potty, he finds a stick, and it's so hard to get them away from him. So I have started this whole, okay, bring it with you. And so he gets to bring it with him to the front door, and then he lets me take it from him, and it just goes on the bench. Then he comes inside. So far, that has been our compromise, and it's working. But the sticks are piling up, and every once in a while, I'll take like a handful of them to the burn barrel whenever I have trash to burn and burn them without him noticing. So I really need to clean up the collection. Thanks to Samson, I had a twig for this one, and then I used a tag for this one because I just finished up a video tutorial for this pattern this morning, and I wanted to show how I attach these tags. I feel like these tags are a little too big for the mini pumpkins, but it's cute and it works. And I finally found these, y'all. I could not find them anywhere. Plus, I was looking for something else, and my yarn room was a hot mess. It's been a hot mess. And I'm like, something's got to give. Like, it got to the point where I'm all about creative chaos, but it got to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore. So I don't even know what happened. Next thing I know, I'm in here and I'm like taking part of my yarn wall down, and I like removed a table I was using for like my ship outs. And yeah, I'll post a picture. Samson was even worried about me. He's like, what is going on? I am so glad that I did that because I found a lot of really cool stuff. I also destashed a lot of my acrylic yarn that I haven't used in years, and I was able to gift that to some people that I know will put it to good use. And I found a bunch of my pumpkin stem tags. I was so tickled. I was like, just in time for pumpkins. So this one says, happy fall, y'all. This one says, hey there, pumpkin. I have a ton. Like, I'm not going to go through all of them. Fall is in the air. The happy fall, y'all, is my favorite because, you know, I'm from the South and we add y'all into everything. This one's cute too. It's you. Whoop. You are the pumpkin to my spice. I thought that was cute. I've never really tried anything pumpkin spice. I guess it's good and it's a thing, so I thought the tag was cute. And there's probably like 10 different sayings on them. I get those tags from Idaho Tailor Made. The pumpkin binge has started. I'm not really sad about it because I really enjoy making them, but I have other projects that I kind of need to work on, so we'll see. Also, this is some of my hand-dyed yarn in the colorway Autumn Sunrise. I'm kind of obsessed. Like, this is not my normal go-to colors, but for pumpkins and for fall, that's right around the corner, I love it. Another funny story about my yarn room. There was a bag that I needed out of my closet for something else, and y'all, that's one area that did not get organized. It's a very scary place because it holds some crochet stuff, but mainly it holds a lot of the crafts and hobbies that I had before I started crocheting. Hot mess express in there. Anyways, went in there, grabbed the bag, walked slowly away, and shut the door because you don't know what's gonna like fall. Anyways, I get the bag and I open it up and I'm like, oh my goodness. There was a ton of pumpkin making yarn in there from last year. And there were some pumpkins that all they needed was stems added and for the ends to be weaved in on. So these are some pumpkins that I made last year and finished this year. And I also added tags to them. This one says, happy fall, y'all. And this one says, leaves are falling, autumn is calling. And again, these are country bumpkin pumpkins. One of the reasons why I mainly just make my pattern is because I kind of have it memorized and it's just one of those mindless projects. I don't have to stop and keep looking at a pattern and all of that. So that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy this pattern. It's quick, it's easy, and adorable. I also found, and haven't finished, a pumpkin that I made using my friend Danielle at a Knotty Habit Designs pattern. And I cannot remember the name of the pattern. I think it's like Jack Be Little or something. I will post the correct name of this here. And I believe this is also a free crochet pattern on her blog, so I will post a link to that below. I love the texture of this pumpkin, and I had one that I finished last year, but I think I gifted it. If I can find a picture, I'll post it. That's the pumpkin patch that I have going on over here. I also finished the baby blanket. That was one of my planned projects in the last podcast that I did, but I've already gifted it, so I will post a picture here of that baby blanket. And the baby shower turned out great. One of the ladies at my church asked if I would help her with hosting this baby shower, and y'all, it was such a delight, and it turned out so good. I feel like I didn't do much. Leanne, the lady that I just say hosted it, I was just kind of a helper. She is such a fabulous decorator. She had everything decorated perfectly. It just turned out fabulous and it was just so sweet. And the other really sweet thing is when she opened the baby blanket that I made for her, everybody wanted to touch it. So she passed it around and everybody was just feeling on it. And they're like, it is so soft. So even though making blankets isn't one of like my go-to projects anymore, I really did enjoy making it, and the reaction to it was super sweet and precious. It's just so wonderful when you can make something and gift it. You can see the joy that it brings. It kind of started me on wanting to make more things to gift. With that being said, that leads me into all of my works in progress. So those are all of my finished items, at least the ones that I can remember. Let me show you all of my whips. Following the whole making items to gift, I started something the other night. I'm blaming all of my yarny friends that make amigurumis and share their pictures with me because I have been resisting making plushies or amigurumis or whatever you want to call them. I have resisted making them for years now. I don't even know how many years it's been. Okay. I did make, I think it was an octopus. I did make one of those for my little cousin, but it was one of those, like, there's going to be no evidence that I made these. Like, there were no pictures. I made it, I gifted it to her, and that was it. So other than that, it has been a really long time since I've made any kind of amigurumi or plushies because I just burned myself out on them. But the other night I was thinking about, oh, I really want to make some more baby items. And I was like, oh, I could make baby booties or I could make hats, or I always second guess myself when it comes to that. Will people use them? I hardly have any acrylic yarn anymore. So is it okay to use superwash merino wool? Like, just all of the things. Am I going to do the right size? So I like overthought it. And finally I'm like, you know what? I should make a plushie. And I try to talk myself out of it. So I found a super cute pattern, and it was a free pattern. And when it comes to plushies, I really like to find free patterns to try to make sure I like the writing style before I purchase it. So found a pattern, super adorable. And I had almost all of the supplies. So this happened. It was a really long story just to get to this point. This happened. So this is the feet, legs, and body of a crochet snuggler, and it's going to be a bunny. So I got to this point and I text a picture to my friend Amanda that literally lives like right down the road. And this was Saturday night. And anyways, I was like, this is your fault. It's partly her fault, but it's partly other people's faults too, because they're so adorable and I've kind of been itching to make them, but I'm just like, not happening. Anyways, this is the Crochet Bunny Snuggler by 365 Crochet and Knit 2. It is a free pattern, so I will post that link below, but I already have plans to make 4 of these, so I went ahead and purchased the pattern because I did like how it was written. So yeah. The reason why I haven't finished this, and it didn't dawn on me until last night, because I went ahead and started the head of the bunny because it was next in the pattern. And then I realized, oh, I don't have any eyes. Look, I know I could crochet some eyes. Tried that. The last bear that I made, oh, you know what? It has been, he's 5 now. So the last bear that I made was like 5 years ago, and it was a baby gift for a cousin of ours, and y'all, it looked like a rat. Like, a rat, okay? Like, how did I not see that, and how did I gift that? Like, have you ever like looked back at something and like your face almost just turns red, like you're kind of embarrassed? Like, that's how I am about that bear. Like, did I not see how it looked like a rat? I don't know. Anyways, I just remember her sending me a picture of Tyler when he was a toddler, and she sent me a picture of the bear, of him and the bear, and she's like, he just loves this thing. And I'm like, it is scary. I'm like, I cannot believe I gifted that. And I was so proud of it. Okay. Anyways, I'm cracking myself up over here. Anyways, so I was freaked out about giving a baby anything with like safety eyes or safety noses. So I decided that I was going to crochet or embroider, whatever the proper term is. I shouldn't ever try that again. It was terrible. I don't think I want to share a picture, even if I have a picture, but if for some reason I can find a picture of just the bear without Tyler in it, I will post it. But trust me, it was, anyways, back to this. Okay. So I started ahead of this, and then I'm like, I don't have any safety eyes. So I text my friend Amanda, and I'm like, what do you usually do for eyes? because I'm freaked out about it. And so she was like kind of giving me my options, and she's like, do whatever is comfortable for you. She recommended getting safety eyes from 3am Grace Designs. So that's what I did. So I ordered some from them, and then being the awesome enabler crochet friend that she is, at 9:30 at night, she drives over to my house to let me borrow some safety eyes in the like little safety eye tool thing, and picked up some yarn that I had for her too. So anyways, I just thought that was hilarious. My husband was sleeping in his chair, so I met her outside, and of course Samson was with me, and he was being crazy. So I put him back inside, and we were out there talking, and I come back in, and my husband's like, what is going on? Because usually I'm in bed by like 8:30. Anyways, I was like, you just wouldn't understand. But I was like, that was Amanda. We were talking crochet and yarn. I was like, and she was picking up yarn, and she brought me something. He's like, okay. Anyways. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to be able to finish this. But then it was bedtime. So the next day I got up and I was going to finish it. And I'm like, oh, I don't have noses. So the noses will be here today. Then it hit me earlier today. I'm like, why didn't I just like frog the part of the head that I had and go ahead and start the other parts of it? But that was just too easy. I decided to just do it the hard way. Wait, there's more. So this time I was smart. I made the body. I literally wrote on the pattern, make the head last. So I skipped that part, and then I made the ears and the arms. I have a problem with overstuffing one and understuffing the other, so they don't look the same size. And I also might have miscounted a row. I don't know. I haven't went back and counted. But I think the problem is I overstuffed. I think I overstuffed this one. It looks a little bit shorter, but you know what? They're gonna be this far apart from each other. I don't think anybody's gonna notice. So I'm letting it go. Letting it go. So yeah. So I started another plushie bunny. And I will probably start on the head of this tonight and then finish the other one. Yeah. And I have plans to make 2 more. I'm going to Phoenix in October. I'm planning on making one for each of my nephews. And then I'm hoping like I get it out of my system and I can go back to my regular crocheting and knitting and avoiding plushies. I really like the Snuggler so much better than the normal plushies because you just have to stuff a couple parts. I think that's why I'm like really enjoying these. I crack myself up because never say never. I'm like, I am never making them again. And then here I am. Okay, so back to like normal Nicky makes here. Oh, that's where that is. I found my light. I was wondering where that was. One of my planned projects that I shared with you in the last podcast was a Winterscape beanie by a Knotty Habit Designs, and I did start it. And here it is. It's a little all wrinkled there and squished because it's been in a project bag for a while. Here is the Winterscape beanie. And y'all, I'm obsessed with this beanie pattern because I just love the texture. And I also love the color work. I really enjoy pairing a tonal with a variegated because that tonal can really make the colors pop in the variegated yarn. So this is what I have so far, and I was doing really good on this and making progress, and it has a lot of single crochets in it, and my hand started hurting. It was more so, I think, my thumb. I don't know. I guess I had like a death grip on the hook. I don't know. I took a break from it for a few days. Then I got like laser focused on my mom's sweater, and this just kind of got lost. And then I got over my like finish all of the projects phase, and now I'm into the start all the projects phase. So hopefully I'll finish this soon because I really do enjoy this pattern. My next project is one that I have just been obsessed with. And until I started those little snugglers, I want to say I worked on this for like an entire week straight without working on any other projects, which is not normal for me. It has been such a joy to work on, and I started this not long after I finished my mom's sweater. I finished my mom's sweater on September 1st, and this was one of those projects that I have really been wanting to make, but I didn't start it right away because, like I said, I was on the finish all the things binge. I found my notebook. So I started this on 9/15, and I have been obsessed. You're not gonna believe how much progress I have made in 10 days. So today is September 25th. I don't know when this podcast is gonna go up. I wanted to go ahead and film it, and then I can work on editing later on, but this is ship out week for my yarn club, so I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and record it and I can just edit it when I can. Started this on 9/15, and I'm using all of my row 1 minis, and this is how far I've gotten. Isn't that wild? Look, it's so pretty. So this is fingering weight yarn. And look at all of those colors. Row 1 Minis is a monthly yarn subscription, and you get 10-gram minis. I don't remember when I started my Row 1 subscription. It's been several months. So they've just been kind of piling up, and I've been going back and forth about what I wanted to do. And I finally decided that I wanted to do a granny triangle shawl. I just jumped in and got started and kind of just made up a pattern. I'm sure there are some granny triangle shawls out there, but I already had in my mind kind of how I wanted to do it. So I just jumped in and got started, and I'm so tickled with it. I wanted this to be a scrappy project. I didn't want to overthink the colors because I know I have so many. Like, look, here are the ones that I haven't used yet. Look, I mean, there's a bunch of them. So I knew if I was gonna try to plan this out and like have the colors just so, I would overwhelm myself. And when I get overwhelmed, the likelihood of me finishing a project, it just goes downhill from there. This is what I've been doing. I have them in this bag. When I'm about to run out of the color that I'm using, I will just kind of I'll kind of close the bag like this and then just reach in here in different spots and just roll yarn around and then just grab them out randomly. And I'm doing like 5 at a time. So I'll just like randomly grab 5. I know that was 2, but you get what I'm saying. And then what I do is I put those 5 in order and number them. So I just try to pair them how I think they will flow really well. I didn't want to, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I didn't want like a bunch of dark colors grouped together and then like a bunch of light colors grouped together. I really wanted it to look nice, but still scrappy. I feel like I'm being kind of picky, but this was a really good compromise because otherwise I feel like I would have just gotten overwhelmed. So this has been super fun, and I didn't start doing that until, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 rows in. I'm really liking the challenge of like having these 5 plus whatever other color I'm about to finish, and then trying to put them in an order that I think will look really nice. So that's been really fun, and I think that's probably how I'm gonna do scrappy projects going forward because I still have a little bit of control over the colors, but not too many options to shut me down. So that is the granny triangle shawl that I'm working on. It has really been such a joy to work on because I don't have to think. It's just one of those mindless projects, and I already have all the yarn right here in one bag for it. I can just sit and crochet and not have to stop and like look at a pattern or keep getting up for yarn or whatever. The next project is probably a project that I've been working on for a really long time. Let me see if I can find it in my notebook here. I want to say I started it back in May. Yes, I started this May 18th, and I have really enjoyed this one too. It's just one of those projects you know is going to take a long time, so you just don't get in a rush and you just enjoy the process. This is the Laelia shawl by Gotham Knits. Here's the beginning of it, and here's where I'm at. So it's really big. I wanted to do a fade with some of my hand-dyed yarn. This colorway was from one of my Yarn Club packages earlier this year. I want to say it was January because I think the theme was love language. Pretty sure it was either January or February. Anyways, this colorway is This Is Love. And then the next colorway is Tulip-tastic. It is another Yarn Club colorway, and it was like March or April. It was a floral bouquet theme. And then this last colorway is called Corally Mine. I was so worried about this pairing well with this one, so I did several transition rows, and I actually kind of like it. This is the Laelia shawl by Gotham Knits, and it's one of those like really beginner friendly knit projects that you just enjoy knitting. You increase by 1 stitch every other row, so it does take a long time. I cannot wait to finish it and just like wrap up in it. I'm all about shawls when cooler weather is here, even though it's like 90 degrees today. Fall is in the air. Like we've had some mornings where I think the coolest it's been so far is like 54 degrees, and I'm like, yes, and then it jumps up to like 85 during the day, but I am living for those fall teasing cool mornings. And this is my new, I'm using it as a project bag even though it's a purse, but I'm obsessed with it. There is a local shop that I got this from. It's actually a hair salon, but in the front they have a shopping area, and I really love it because the owner finds like local creatives or artists, and she will buy stuff from them to sell in her shop. I think that's really cool. It's the same shop that is stocking my coffee cozies, and she also bought some of my extra Yarn Club packages to sell in there. So now there is a local place stocking some of my yarn. So I thought that was pretty exciting. I went in there to drop everything off to her, and she still had the purse, so it came home with me. Then she told me that there's also a hot pink one that she was ordering, so I bought it. And it came in the other day, and I love it. So the hot pink one is my purse now, and this is my project bag. I have 2 more whips to share with you. This one is my Granny Stripe Scrappy Blanket, and I really haven't made a whole lot of progress on this one, but again, it's another one that I really enjoy. So this is where I was at last time I podcasted, I believe. Sure, I did move it when I podcasted last, but if this is a repeat, I'm sorry. I know I've worked a little bit on it since the last time. So this is what I have so far. I did that really fast, sorry. It's about halfway done. So here is what I have. And you may have spotted it, but in case you didn't, this is some scrap yarn that I had left from my mom's sweater. So I was tickled to add that in there. And I think that's one of the things that I really love about this project. I can look back, not everything because I don't have that great of a memory, but here is the color that I used for my sweater. So I can like look back and be like, oh, I remember that yarn. I just spotted it. Like this yarn right here, that's what I used for my husband's muscle burr hat, and it was his camouflage colorway that he dyed. So yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I just really enjoy about this. I can look at them and be like, oh, I remember that. Here is the colorway that I used for Samson's bandana, and I really, really want to finish this before the colder months get here, because I think this will be a great blanket to snuggle under. If I don't, it's big enough now that it can kind of keep me warm while I'm working on it. So that is my scrappy granny stripe blanket, and I will post a link to my Ravelry project page because I made mine a little differently. I did not want to have to chain hundreds of chains. So I did a foundation single crochet stitch, which makes it go so much faster. And then I'm using the stacked double crochet stitch to start each row. I'm getting those nice clean edges. Anyways, I put the details on my Ravelry project page in case there's anybody else that wants to make one and they want the nice clean edges and they don't want to have to chain a whole bunch. So I was a good girl and I took notes. I really wish I could be that diligent with all of my projects and create projects on Ravelry for them because it's so convenient to find my notes when I need them instead of trying to find my notebook or even remembering to put it in my notebook. It really is a handy tool. I just need to get in the habit of using it. Okay, I have one more whip to share with you, and I really wish I would have done the swatch in some scrap yarn so I could share the swatch with you. Oh, you know what? I did take a picture of that swatch. So if I can find it and I remember, I will post it right here. I recently took pre-orders for the Classic collection, which was like 13 different tonal colors. There were 4 of them that I was absolutely obsessed with, and it gave me a design idea. You can spot some of like the extra tonals right there. They're so pretty. Anyways, there were 4 of them that I thought would be beautiful in a project together. So my idea is, let me show you the yarn and I'll talk out my idea. Let's see if I can hold it all up. Here you go. I'm obsessed with this and I think it's going to be so gorgeous together. My design idea is to make a color block shawl. One color is going to be a certain stitch combination, and then when I'm like just about to run out of this color, I'll start the next color and it's going to be a different stitch combination and then just go on from there. The next color will be a different set of stitches and the last color will be a different set of stitches. So you'll have this gorgeous fade going on with different stitch combinations. That way, it's like when you're just kind of like, okay, this color's gorgeous, but I'm getting a little bored and I'm getting a little bored with these stitches. You spice it up a little bit and it's time to use the next color and then the same thing. I think it's gonna be a really fun pattern and I have the design down from the swatch. Now I just need to work it up. I believe I'm gonna call it the Joyful Journey Shawl, because my hope is that it will be an adventure and one that you really enjoy so much that you're gonna wanna make it again. I just love having patterns like that, like my go-to patterns of, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed that. Oh, I need to make a shawl. Oh, I'm gonna make that one again. So that's what my hope is, and that's my idea. So now I really just need to get on with it. Here's what I have so far, and I kind of think this might be the hiccup. I'm making it really wide. Let me look at my notes so I'm not like telling a story here. Well, that was entirely unhelpful because I remember measuring it, but I did not write it down. Why would I do that? You know what I bet happened? I bet I couldn't find this notebook and I wrote it down on a sticky note. So now I need to find that sticky note. Or I could just not be lazy and just measure it again. Anyways, okay, moving on. This is what I have so far. Did I just show you the back of it? Yes. This is what I have so far. It's so pretty. I know you can't really see it now. Like I'm gonna need to get a little more height to it before you can really see the texture, but I'm super excited about it. Before I got distracted, what I was saying earlier, I think my problem is I'm making this really wide. I want to say it's like 30 inches wide. So it's going to take a long time, like a really long time. So again, I'm overthinking it, which shuts me down, and that's why I haven't been back to it. Plus, I've been a little squirrely and like all over the place starting all the things. But I think that's what my holdup is I'm wondering if it's going to be too wide, especially for me because I'm not even 5 foot tall. So this is like over half my height, and I just think it might be too wide and use way more yarn than what I'm wanting to. I really wouldn't mind so much if it was too wide, because then it's kind of, I can't remember who used this term, but I loved it. Like now I forgot the term. But basically they mixed shawl and blanket together, and I can't remember how they did it. A shanket? I think I just shank it. Like, really, Nikki? A shanket? I don't think that's what they said. I think I just made that term up. Definitely not a shanket. It's a prison shawl. Okay, sorry. I don't think that was the term, but basically they like it to almost be like blanket sized, and I would like that, but I really want this design to be able to be made with 4 hanks of worsted weight yarn. I think going that wide is going to be a yarn eater, and I haven't taken the time to do a proper swatch where I can figure out this much yardage is going to give me this much width and this much height. I think that's the hold up on that. I don't know why I just took 45 minutes to explain that. Now you get a little peek inside my brain. So after talking that out, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to frog this, and I'm going to go back, going to make it more so about 24 inches. I know 6 inches doesn't seem like that much, but when you do 6 inches extra by like 20 or 30 inches, that's a lot. That's a lot of yarn. So I think that's what I'm going to do for the design. And then if I want to make another one that is bigger, I can. But when I'm making one for a design, I really want it to be as it is written, so the pictures coincide with the pattern, because I'm a very visual person, and I know I would be like, I thought this was going to be as big as hers. I think that's the hold up, but now that I've talked that out, I have a plan going forward. And this doesn't even have a project bag. Its home has been our love seat that we don't use, so I had to like dig my hook out of the side of the love seat and some of the yarn. I just put it in a bucket. Just can't make this stuff up. I literally have like yarn and projects everywhere. That's all of my yarn adventures that I have going on right now. Let's jump into new items. I honestly have no idea what all has come in since the last podcast, because I think the last time I did one was like in July. Oh, it's been crazy around here. But recently I have been on a journey to try some new crochet hooks, because my go-to hooks, which are the Furls Crochet Odyssey hooks that I have been using almost exclusively since 2019. I don't know. It's been a long time. These literally like saved my hands. Plus they're pretty. I have just really enjoyed using these, and they're just about all that I use. They're no longer making these. I'm really sad. So I kind of wanted to have a backup plan. So before I found Furls Odyssey, the tulip hooks were on my list of hooks to try. So I got on Amazon and I ordered the hook sizes that I use the most, which are an H8 or a 5mm and an I9 or a 5.5 millimeter. Plus, they're this rosy pink color, so I had to try them. I really, really like these hooks. I think the Furls Odyssey hooks have fixed my grip issue, so I don't seem to grip my hooks as tightly as I used to. I notice when I'm crocheting now, I'm not like crocheting like this, because the Odysseys, because you can't do that with the Odysseys. See how they're shaped? So I've built the muscle memory of having a bigger hook, so these no longer make my hands cramp. I haven't crocheted for really long periods of time to to fully test that theory out. That's kind of what I'm thinking and why my hands haven't cramped with this. I have an entire set of clover hooks that are very similar to this. And I know at one point I couldn't use them for more than like 5 or 10 minutes and my hands would start cramping. And so far I haven't had any issues with these. And I know I've used them for like 30 minutes at a time. Honestly, the price difference between these, like I can get like 3 hooks for the price of 1 hook. So pretty excited about that. Still gonna test drive these a little bit before I decide to buy the entire set. I do have them favorited on my Amazon. The tips remind me so much of Clover. Like, I love Odysseys, but there is something about that Clover and this tulip tip. Like, the yarn glides over these tips like butter. Butter if you're not from the South. And that's why I really wanted Clover hooks to work for me, because it's so fabulous how well the yarn and the hook played together. I know I have received a couple Yarnable packages and Row 1 packages since the last podcast, but I can't contain myself. And it's like once I open them, the chances of everything still being in one place is like almost 0. So I'm sorry that I'm not sharing those with you, but it would just be a mess because I don't know where anything's at anymore. I know the yarn is probably right back here, but everything else. Yarnable was fabulous as always. Row 1 was great too. Now I'm going to jump into planned projects. When my mom dyed yarn for her sweater, I went ahead and put 8 hanks of yarn in the dye pans because I wanted to make sure I had plenty of yarn. I didn't want to run into the issue that I had with my knit sweater and have to dye more, especially this being a variegated colorway and it wasn't my hands that dyed it. I wanted to have more than enough. So I have 2 full hanks of yarn left. I just don't have the heart to put it in the shop and sell it. So I asked my mom what she wanted me to make with her yarn. And she told me that she wanted some more fingerless gloves. I'm going to make her some Brinley fingerless gloves, which is one of my designs. And I'll post a picture here. I love the texture in this design. And I want to say I actually designed it when I was visiting her one year because she wanted some fingerless gloves. Just thought this was a perfect time to make her some more with her yarn. She also asked for another carry-all foam purse, which is another pattern that I designed for her. And it's a free pattern on my blog, so I'll share that below too. So my planned projects for this, I don't know if I will get to them before I go see her, but I do plan on caking these up and I will probably pack these for projects to make while I'm there. Hopefully I will remember to take pictures to share with you. I have just about checked off all of the planned projects that I talked about in my last podcast, except for the heel toe do-si-do socks by Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady. Y'all, I have barely worked on socks. That's one of the projects that I forgot to show you, is the vanilla socks that I'm working on in my Canadian Sky colorway. Probably haven't even done a dozen rows on that sock pattern, which is so weird because I can't remember when I learned to knit socks. I think it was last fall. I've like been on a sock knitting binge. It's like one of my favorite things to make. But I kind of put all of my sock projects aside to work on other things, and then I got bit by the crochet bug again, so I've been back to crocheting. So it's been really weird not to work on socks, but that's still a planned project for me. And the other one that I haven't got to is a pattern by Expression Fiber Arts. And Kim from 3 by the Sea Designs recently made one of these, and I am going to butcher the name of it, but I think it's called Go Fleetio. I'll post a picture of it here. It is gorgeous, and I actually need to check out her podcast to see how hers turned out. I saw her whip of it in the last podcast I caught of hers, and I was obsessed, and I'm like, I'll be back. And after I saw her whip, I literally was like running around trying to find all of the DK weight yarn that I had because I wanted to make one right then. And again, I had like way too many options, totally overwhelmed myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this on my planned projects list, and I am going to pick a few DK weight yarns, and then I'm probably going to dye some tonals that go with that and then go from there. Then some life things happened. Samson happened, and it's one of those projects that's just been shuffled to the end. So we'll see. Maybe when things settle down a little bit, I will be able to get started on that. One of my little like getting things done hacks is when I'm feeling inspired to start a project, if I can start that project while I'm thinking of it and while I'm feeling inspired and motivated, there's a really good chance that I'm going to finish it. So that was part of the reason why I really wanted to get started on that. The last thing on my planned project list, as you can see, I really don't need another project right now. I want to make the weekend sweater that I made for my mom for myself. And I'm thinking I'm gonna dye the yarn very similar to how she dyed it, but instead of purple, I'm gonna do like a dark teal, like dark teal, gray, and black. I think that will be absolutely gorgeous, and I really love wearing teal. One of these days, I'm gonna get in the dye room just to dye yarn for myself, and that is at the top of my list. Those are all of my finished projects, my work in progress projects, my planned projects. Now let's dive into yarn news. I have so much yarn news to share with you. I'm going to limit it to just a few of the beanie kits that I have in the yarn shop right now because I'm obsessed with these. I launched the classic collection, the tonals, at the end of August, the 1st of September, but those have already closed and they're about to ship out. So if you order tonals from me, thank you. They will ship probably tomorrow, if not the next day. Here is one of the kits. I love these colors together. As I was putting these kits together, I honestly was thinking about the Winterscape beanie by A Knotty Habit Designs. But again, you can pick any beanie and do color work with it, but I just love how hers works up and it's spelled out for you in the pattern, so it just makes it super easy. And the beanie kits also come with a pom-pom. I thought this pom-pom, one, it's gorgeous, but two, I thought this would be absolutely perfect on a beanie made up with these colors. So each kit comes with 2 yarns, like a tonal-ish. Like this isn't completely a tonal. It has some, it looks like it has some speckles, but hey, I actually didn't speckle this. This is where the dye broke. So it has some built-in speckles and then a variegated. So you have, so some of them are tonals and then the other ones are variegated and some of them are tonal-ish, is like I like to call this one. And they come with a pom-pom. And then they come with a button to attach the pom-pom to your hat with if you want to make it where the pom-pom is removable. I love using buttons for that. So I wanted this option to be in there in case that's how you like to attach your pom-poms too. That's one of the kits. There are so many in there. I'm just trying to pick my favorites. Here's another one. This colorway is Papaya Paradise with this beautiful pink tonal. My goodness, isn't that pretty? And the pom-pom that I picked for this is gorgeous. This is like the fluffiest pom-pom I have. Look at that. Look how huge that is. And none of these pom-poms are ones that like you can buy on Amazon. They are from makers. They're from people that handmade these. I went through this phase where I ordered a bunch of pom-poms from a bunch of different people. So as much as I'd like to shout them out, I can't remember who made what, but I don't make beanies like I used to, and I have a ton of these. So I'm like, why not put kits together? That's kind of where this idea come from. It was I need to get rid of some of these. I've got a bunch of yarn in the shop, and I'm obsessed with the Winterscape beanie, so that's kind of how this come together. I think this is another gorgeous pairing. The next one is definitely not my go-to colors, but it's perfect for fall, and I have to admit it, these are gorgeous together. So this is the Hello Autumn set, and if you're a fan of brown, you know I very rarely have brown options in stock. But I think this goes so well together. So this is the Hello Autumn set, and I have another one of those humongous, gorgeous pom-poms that goes with that. Oh, well, this is not a beanie kit. I also have some tonals and some variegated that I paired together that I think would be perfect in a project. This is a Canadian Sky set. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? This is Stormy. Here is Canadian Sky. Then this one, y'all, this is Blue Violet. Look at that. Like, you have shades of blue, but you also kind of see hints of purple in there, or violet. It definitely plays tricks with your brain. I think this is an absolute gorgeous pairing. It's like these colors were made for each other, and then you throw that in there, and I just think this would make a gorgeous shawl or cowl or whatever you decide to make with it. So this is one of the sets that I have in the shop. Next, I'm going to show you what is probably my favorite. And this is the one that also kind of started all of this. I think I posted this on social media asking if you would pair this together. The yarn is gorgeous. Look at that one. I just obsessed. And this is another Papaya Paradise. Love this. Love what we have going on here. But this pom-pom. Oh my goodness. Look. Like, see some of the darker spots here? This, it just like pulls that out. I need somebody to make a beanie with this kit. Like, please. And then share pictures with me. I've already told myself that if this doesn't sell soon, I'm gonna have to make a beanie with it, because that pom-pom, oh, it's my favorite. I feel like I should just show you all the pom-poms, because I think I'm just as excited about the yarn as I am the poms. So here is the Confetti Chaos beanie kit. I love this because you can see the pops of blue. That is just gonna make those pops of blue pop even more. So this is Confetti Chaos. Brace yourself. Like, are you ready to see this pom? I think it's perfect. It just gets me so giddy. So, are you ready? Look at that. Like, it's like it was made for this. There's pop of orange and pink, blue, green, and yellow, and look. All of those colors. It just makes me so happy. I know I had a few of these Confetti Chaos kits in the shop. This may be the only one I have left. There may be another one. I know I had one with a pink tonal, and I think I had two with the blue, but I can't remember. I just have too much to keep up with, but love this. I think this would, again, another gorgeous beanie. I think this would be a really fun kids beanie too, or like a toddler beanie with this gorgeous pom-pom. Okay, I had to limit myself, so I'm gonna share one more with you and then we're gonna move on. Just kidding, this doesn't have a pom-pom with it, but it's another set that's available in my shop. This is definitely a Nicky pairing. I feel like when it comes to pairing yarn, sometimes I like matchy-matchy, but sometimes I like to pair the colorways that make you go, like, will that work? So this is one of those pairings that make you go, I think this worked up together would be gorgeous. Okay, hear me out. If you're one of those that's like, Nikki, you might be a little off your rocker with this one, hear me out. If you look in here at some of these speckles, look, the color, the lighting in here is just not doing this one justice, maybe, but look, if you work this yarn up with this yarn, this colorway is gonna make those pop. I just think a cowl, I mean, even a beanie, I think this would be absolutely gorgeous together. And again, I don't know if you can see this, but this has different shades of the same color. So this is Tropical Waters, and this is Corally Mine. Another peek inside my brain, as I'm looking at this, I'm like, I should dye that color, that like purple violet color, and make a set of 3. That would be really pretty too. Maybe having a third color to balance this out wouldn't make you go so, oh, you know what? Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, so yeah. All right, so all of you doubters like, girl, you was crazy. What do you think now? I think I should keep this. Okay, moving on. That was fun and took a really interesting turn. I forgot to tell you because I was so excited. This is one of the tonals from the classic collection. I did dye a few extras, but I'm waiting until I ship out all of the orders to make sure everybody gets it and I didn't get anything mixed up before I add any of the extras to the shop. But this color is called Back to the Fuchsia. Y'all, I crack myself up with some of these colors. I really need to go through all of these colors and show y'all because I'm really proud of some of the names. Probably gonna have to be a different podcast episode because I've already been recording for like 2 hours. The podcast won't be that long, hopefully, but that's a really long time to record. So let me wrap this up. A few other things that you will find in the yarn shop are some extra ALC Yarn Club packages. Some of them go back to like September of last year. If you missed out on any of the previous ALC Yarn Club packages, or if you missed out on one of the colorways, or you liked it so much you want another one, I will post a link to that below. And the 2023 advent calendars are just about sold out. There are a few sock weight and a few DK weight ones left. The worsted weight has completely sold out. I'm leaving them up until October 1st, but after that I will be shutting those listings down and starting on the yarn because they will ship out mid-November. If you have any questions about the advent calendar, just comment below. I'll be happy to answer any of the questions. I will also post a link below because all of the details about the advent are in that listing. Well, y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. That is a wrap for this podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me. And until next time, happy yarning. Bye for now.